is just fantastic. Captain's log, subdates 220505.8. I just pulled a splinter from my hand. That was big enough to serve as a toothpick or a hobbit-sized javelin, and now based on its size, I'm half tempted to frame it, or simply erase the archery target that it came from. Hello everyone, welcome to the exhibition of stupid people. Today we're going to start with the YouTube channel XPlay, who have, let's say over the last 3 months, suffered a fate that is understandable considering what one person did. Just one. Just the one. Yeah, that got so much backlash that they've had to, let's say, adjust to their, change in fortunes. Yes, let's call it that. XPlay is a YouTube channel that considers itself an S-tier comedic video game reviews and commentary show. They claim to be releasing hilarious videos about games that make us laugh. There are a number of people involved in this channel. The one though that really got the attention is called Frosk, who put out a 4-minute 45-second rant on the treatment of women in gaming. Now the video, considering the rest of the channel at the time, got 268,000 views. Absolutely fantastic. I would love to get that in a month. However, the feedback for that has not been positive, with the top comment on that video being, "If you don't like it, don't watch it," being a quote underneath famous last words. Interesting really, because that rant has in turn yielded a rather negative outcome for the channel, to the tune of around 50% of their audience. Whereas previously they'd get close to 30,000 views on a video, now they get 10 to 15,000 views per video. So what did Frosk say? Well, if you could endure the first minute complaining about Rockstar not listening to anyone, which is understandable because they never do, so it's hardly a surprise. Frosk believes the more important aspect of online gaming that many people aren't talking about is sexism in gaming. Now by all means roll your eyes and say, yes, but Anita Sarkeesian did this in 2015, and it was hardly well received then. It's not going to be well received now, because the argument of what is or is not sexism is entirely subjective, and is predetermined by the individual and how they take online bants. Oh, I know, but some of it isn't bants, it's hateful. Thank you for being that one person. Shut up. Is there sexism in gaming? Sure. Not going to bother denying it, I'm sure it exists somewhere. Can we do something about it as a community? Oh, well, we can exclude them. That does not solve the problem, it just pushes them onto a different server. Well, I should insert this now in case someone thinks I'm somehow ignorant. I'm very much aware of what G4 is. Thank you. I'm merely addressing XPlay as a YouTube channel because it suffered a consequence. For Frosk ranting, which one of them was absolutely fine with on the show, the other couldn't have looked any more uncomfortable. Oh, and I'm going to insert this now. If someone tells you that they've jerked off to you, if you don't consider that a compliment, that's fine. If you do consider it a compliment, that is also fine. For Frosk to just blanket say it's not a compliment, I'm starting to see where people might not be okay with this. It could be because their own echo chambers are being attacked, and they're not overly fond of it. Or it's also because you're using blanket generalized statements to make it seem like you're doing an empowered rant, when in actuality, all you're doing is complaining about your own, let's call them, insecurities. And if you've watched Frosk's rant, which I'm going to link down below, by all means give it a watch. People are going to walk away, and the feedback to this has been essentially, well done Frosk for destroying an entire brand. And G4 themselves, in an attempt to try and fix the damage you've done, have had to replace you while you complain about sexism and objectification in gaming with Amaranth. I wonder how well they listen to you. Do you think perhaps you would have been listened to better if you did a hot tub stream on Twitch, or jiggled your bitties on OnlyFupas? People take you seriously for your actions, your individual actions. Showing a sensitive side on the internet or showing outrage on the internet will lead to one inevitable conclusion. The only people on your side are few in number, because the rest of them are shitlords, apparently, and yes, that's also a dead term from the time of Anita Sarkeesian. Bravo. Fingers crossed G4 can rebuild with Amaranth, right? Moving on, SpongeBob SquarePants. If you've never heard of SpongeBob, chances are you live under the same rock Patrick lives under, a show that has appealed to generations, a show that has run for a long time, movies included. It is hugely popular, hugely successful, and I'll be honest, rightly so. While I may not be the biggest fan, because I couldn't care less about cartoon shows these days, a bit ironic for someone who uses a cartoon avatar and a cartoon backdrop, I know, but it doesn't matter really. It appeals to a vast majority, so much so that many people have made their own fan-made iterations of it. With those fan-made iterations, you can tell how much they love the product. They love it enough that they really show they understand the story, understand the style of art and the voice work that goes into it, producing incredible content that pays respect and homage to something that they love. Some larger networks, though, aren't such a big fan of that. They believe that anything that closely resembles something of theirs, they own the intellectual property, and therefore the rights to it, which means they can remove all of that. Nintendo is a great example of it. They will claim almost everything except for the Pokey in Pokimane, but they'll go after everyone else because they're massive dickheads. Many other channels, many other networks, many other manufacturers do this, and they do it on a daily basis. YouTube usually kowtows to that. How does this connect to SpongeBob? Well, there's a channel called the SpongeBob SquarePants Movie Rehydrated. This is a recreation of an existing film produced by Viacom. The producers themselves claim no ownership of those rights, and this project is strictly not for profit, with no person involved having made any money off of the contents of the film. Hundreds of artists were involved in creating this project. It is an hour and 40 minutes long, and it was pulled because, well, yeah, Paramount Pictures blocked it on copyright grounds, going so far as to claim 40 minutes of this 1 hour 40 project belonged to them, even though everything about it was done by other people. That's interesting, isn't it? To claim ownership because perhaps the words in that order belong to you, or perhaps the way the frames go, the style of art perhaps, even though they're not alike. If you watch the movie, you'll know that. This led to Justice for SpongeBob trending on Twitter, with thousands jumping to the defense of the rehydrated film. And rightly so. When it comes to copyright, we as creators have a certain line, a standard. If you straight up re-upload someone's video without their permission, no, they can flag you for that. They're well within their right to. If you slander them, there is an argument that can be made depending on the argument you have presented or the point you have made or the comment you have said that might well be, harmful to that person. Let's go with that. There are contexts here, and context always matters. In the case of the rehydrated SpongeBob SquarePants movie, there wasn't a leg to stand on. You would know this, Viacom or Paramount Pictures, if you watched it first. Chances are you used an automated system and simply said, YOLO swag fam, we're having that. Mine, blocked. No one makes money off something that wasn't making money in the first place. With this particular story though, we do get a happy ending, because at present, so time of recording on the 5th of May 2022, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie Rehydrated, currently sitting on 658,000 views, is up. And if you are a fan of SpongeBob, I highly recommend you go and watch it. It's interesting to me when you see that movie because on the right side of the screen, you can actually just buy or rent the original version of that movie, called the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Nice touch, right? Somebody makes money out of it, right? Wow. Capitalism, everyone. To those that created that movie, you are artistically gifted. The voice work was very good, and while I'm not the biggest fan of SpongeBob, I can appreciate good quality entertainment. And that was that. So go there and smash the like. Give them subs. They deserve the attention for it. To the final subject. Let's talk about Def Noodles and Rich Lux. I've known of Rich Lux for a very long time. He has been very supportive of me when it came to my content covering Amber Lynn, and Rich has very kindly gifted me subs on my Twitch channel. So yes, I have a bias. When it comes to Rich's content, commentary, reviews of makeup, drama, but in a very comedic and somewhat unbiased delivery manner, it is hard to believe what Def Noodles says. And I'm going to play the clip so we can then dissect what Defamation Pubic Noodlehead has said on behalf, of course, of his lordship, King Klein.
Sponsors, of various shows that he decided were too right-wing.
I want to congratulate both Rich Lux and Keemstar for falling into the alt-right pipeline and supplying motherfuckers like Gavin McInnes and Tim Stoll with the narratives that they want so they can continue to work against progressive causes, which is, at the end of the day, exactly what Rich Lux and Keemstar wanted, right? But should we really be that surprised?
Def Noodles of late has fallen more and more heavily into a political sphere of YouTube, and it has invigorated him when it comes to his presentation and positions. Those arguments where he will now just frankly, openly attack, slander, and, well, it's almost libel really, other YouTubers. When it comes to Keemstar, it's everything he posts. Everything on Instagram is Keemstar. Everything he posts on YouTube has Keemstar with a bald head pulling a silly face on the thumbnail somewhere. The exact same dead jokes coming unironically from someone who claims to be a comedian. Rich Lux took this like a pro and put out a video discussing the alt-right allegation. Now, of course, Def Noodles didn't accuse him of being alt-right. He said that he was catering to the alt-right by giving them fuel, views, attention. That is certainly a good point. When Rich Lux mocks it with a meme, alt-white, people don't seem to know this. Do you guys even internet? My view on this is quite simple really. What Def Noodles has said with the way he has said it in the full context of the entire video is a load of bollocks. Yet again coming from somebody who does not understand the people he is criticizing. And because he hasn't done a shred of research, apparently he also worships the quartering, he comes across as beyond ignorant. Bo Blacks has done an absolutely sublime video covering this, but I'm going to read his tweet talking about this. Def Noodles calling Rich Lux alt-right is not only completely false but also super insulting to an LGBTQ+ man who is working to continue normalization of drag queens as well as LGBTQ+ in general. Extremely ashamed of Dennis's openly hostile action against the community. Just gonna add one clarification though, not necessarily called him alt-right, more that he caters to alt-right. But the points within his videos still stand, and they are worth a listen. I guess I've given you guys homework. My apologies for that. As we've reached the end of this video, I would love to know what you all think. Please do leave a comment down below and smash the like. As a final thing, there's a new video on Omegon 2 Electric Boogaloo. Please go check it out, it really helps that channel. Hope you all have a fantastic day everyone, and thank you very much for listening. Except Def Noodles, you can sod right off.